News ahead of the Louisiana Shrimpers Association saying a law designed to promote Louisiana shrimp in local restaurants and seafood stores isn't worth the paper it is printed on.
He's calling for changes after a report shows that not a single fine was issued for food establishments who fail to notify consumers they're buying imported seafood. Rob Masson has more.
And Megan, Liz, that report by our partners at the Louisiana Illuminator shows not a single fine was issued in spite of 2,600 violations of a Louisiana law requiring food establishments to notify customers if they're selling imported shrimp or crawfish. Louisiana shrimpers say imported shrimp have been shown by numerous studies to often contain banned veterinary drugs and prohibited chemicals. The Shrimpers Association also says those imports are killing a state fishing industry that once supported 20,000 commercial licenses and has now dwindled to just 3,000.
This year here is going to tell the tale. There's a lot of them gonna fall this year. It's collapsing as we speak. It's just a matter of time and it's going to go away. And you know, the industry as we know it will not exist.
A.C. Cooper with the Louisiana Shrimp Association says the 2019 law requiring signage informing the public about imported seafood was watered down by the legislature. He recommends that it be changed so that Wildlife and Fisheries enforces the law in order to stimulate a shrimping industry, which he says is on the ropes. He says the Louisiana shrimp industry provides a better product and thousands of jobs which are now in jeopardy.